John, an experienced drone enthusiast, decided to explore a new area. As he flew his drone, he noticed a small door on top of a nearby mountain. John decided to climb up the rocky mountain to take a closer look. Getting into the old metal door was anything but easy, but with sheer grit and determination, John managed to do it. And he was blown away by what he was seeing when he was making his way deeper and deeper into the mountain. Somebody had created this for a purpose. But what did John find in the mountain? Why was it hidden behind a strange metal door? But before we start, smash the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our upcoming stories. John had wanted to explore this area for a long time now, but the local authorities had always been in his way. These forests had been a protected area for decades now, and getting in was not easy, at least when you tried to do it in a legal way. After years of trying to gain access to the area with a permit, John had given up on this. He had even been willing to travel with somebody keeping an eye on him, but even this did not convince the governing bodies. If he could not enter these woods himself, then maybe his drone could. He would stay on the edge of the area while he would pilot his drone through all that beautiful land, getting the shot he so desperately wanted. As an experienced drone pilot, John had been selling the footage he managed to capture his flying friend online to make an extra buck, and he had quickly figured out that footage of places that were illegal to enter sold very well and for a good price. But today, he would actually end up capturing something much more valuable. As he was flying his drone through the sky, hoping not to attract too much attention, John noticed a small mountain or rock formation that seemed to be at the center of the protected area. It was a beautiful contrast against all the greenery, and John wanted to get a good shot of it. This mountainside did not completely consist of rock formations. There was actually something strange located near the top, something that seemed to catch the sun in a different way, creating a glittering. John speculated that it might be a metal object of some sort, and as he flew his drone even closer to it, he just about managed to make out that it was a door of some sort. John was very surprised by his discovery. What was something like this doing in the middle of a protected area? His trustworthy drone suddenly started to malfunction heavily. Within seconds, the screen started to glitch and John lost the controls. The screen went completely black, and the last thing that he saw was that the drone was crashing towards the foot of the mountain. Now John was faced with a dilemma. Not only did he want to get his expensive drone back and see if there was anything he could still salvage from it, he also wanted to check out this strange metal door that he had spotted in the mountain before the drone suddenly fell out of the sky. But to do that, he knew that he would have to enter the protected area. He could already get in trouble for flying his drone there, but actually entering the ground on foot was a whole different story. But John did not feel like he had another choice right, and he decided to scale the fence. His heart was nearly beating out of his chest as John was trying to make his way through the thick vegetation. It was clear that no human had been here in a long time, and this frightened John for a couple of reasons. It was clear that the local government was very strict in enforcing the protection of the area, and maybe they already knew that he had scaled the fence. But with no humans having been in a large closed part of the woods, who knows what animals could be going about their business in here? Predators like wolves or bears could potentially thrive in an area like this. He just prayed that no other human or creature would spot him on this journey. John was using his GPS to make sure that he was still heading toward the mountain, as the forest was so difficult to traverse that you could easily get off track here. And besides that, every unfamiliar sound around John scared him. After about an hour of walking, he finally found what he was looking for. His drone was hanging in some vines high in the trees. The food thing was that these vines had stopped its fall, and it looked to still be in very good condition. He would have to climb the trees to get it, but with no equipment, that would be very difficult and dangerous. So for right now, John decided to just leave it up there and continue to his other goal of the journey. This was also not easy to reach at all. John looked up the mountain, and even though the rock wall was very steep, it did seem like there was a good way to climb up there. It at least seemed to be a lot more doable than climbing the trees. And who knows, maybe he would find a ladder or something like that behind the door. Standing at the foot of the mountain, John took a deep breath, trying to calm the growing doubt in his mind. The towering peak loomed ominously ahead. Although he had faced challenges before, this particular ascent seemed more daunting than he'd anticipated. As he started his ascent, John realized the deceptive nature of the mountain's terrain. What looked like solid ground from afar turned into loose gravel underfoot. Hidden crevices posed threats at unexpected turns. He regretted not bringing more suitable gear, but he was determined to move forward. With each step, memories of past adventures flooded John's mind. He remembered sneaking into forbidden zones, capturing stunning yet illegal footage. Each risk taken was driven by a thirst for the unknown. Those challenges and rewards were what motivated him now, propelling him up the rocky face. As John climbed higher, The sheer magnitude of the mountain became evident. From below, it seemed so manageable, but up here, surrounded by endless rock and steep ledges, he felt like an ant against a vast backdrop. The mountain was punctuated with numerous caves and openings. Some were shallow, barely more than indents in the rock, while others yawned wide and deep. The temptation to explore was strong, but John knew he needed to stay focused on the primary goal. Was he really prepared for what lay beyond? Exhaustion started to creep in. Pausing on a rocky outcrop, John considered his options. The drone was lost, and perhaps that should have been his cue to turn back. Yet, the metal door's intrigue overshadowed his fatigue. Pushing past the tiredness and doubts, John felt an unyielding pull toward the mountain's summit. The mysterious door, with its unknown origins and purpose, had ignited his curiosity like nothing before. This was an enigma he needed to solve, regardless of the physical toll it took. After scaling a challenging cliff, John found himself on a ledge overlooking a breathtaking expanse of nature. The lush green canopy below seemed to stretch on forever. Taking a moment to capture the beauty in his mind, he felt a mix of awe and humility. As he ventured further, John discovered etchings on some boulders. They appeared to be of ancient origin, possibly made by indigenous tribes. John was no historian, but he felt a connection to those who had traversed this path before him. The final stretch to the door felt both exhilarating and ominous. With every step, the metallic entrance grew larger, emphasizing its out-of-place nature in this wild setting. John's heart raced, anticipating the secrets and stories hidden behind the imposing barrier. As John took a closer look, he could see that every inch was covered in finely etched patterns. While the door's size suggested it was built for something large to pass through, its detailed design indicated purpose, care, and intention. John was drawn to an almost concealed side entryway, much smaller and less grand than the main entrance. Brushing aside overgrown vines, he wondered how many people might have used this entrance before him. There was something intimate about it, a secret waiting to be unveiled. The hidden door was bound by a padlock, weathered and rusted over time. The metal had been corroded by years of exposure to the elements, suggesting that this entrance hadn't been used in a long while. Once inside, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. The darkness was almost tangible, engulfing John. The flashlight's beam offered minimal visibility, revealing a cavernous space ahead. The smell of dampness and decay filled the air, an ancient testament to the passage of time. John quickly realized that the cavern wasn't just one large space. Various pathways branched out, each more enticing and mysterious than the last. The temptation to explore was strong, but he knew he needed to be cautious. Getting lost within this labyrinth was a very real danger. Silence reigned supreme, broken only by the muted sounds of dripping water. The weight of history bore down on John. The mountain's walls, etched with the scars of time, seemed to whisper tales of those who might have trod these paths long before him. The air within the mountain grew thinner, and with it, John felt his energy waning. Each step became heavier, each breath more labored. The mountain seemed to be warning him, pushing back against this intrusion into its ancient depths. With every new corridor and chamber he discovered, John's excitement transformed into a nagging concern. The sameness of each turn, the lack of any distinct markings, all started to play tricks on his mind. Panic gnawed at the edges of his consciousness. Had he ventured too deep? Staying calm, John retraced his steps, marking certain points with small stones. He remembered reading about ancient explorers and how they used simple methods to navigate unknown terrains. He decided to trust his instincts, moving slowly and methodically, hoping to find his way back. In an alcove, remnants of an old campsite greeted him. There was a sense of eerie abandonment, as if the previous visitors had left in a hurry. This wasn't just a place of exploration for John anymore, it was a witness to stories yet untold. Deep within the cavern's heart, a gentle glow bathed the rocky walls. It felt as if the mountain itself was providing John some comfort, guiding him through the encompassing darkness. A breathtaking expanse awaited John after squeezing through a particularly tight crevice. A vast corridor, both wide and high, made him feel minuscule. The architecture suggested deliberation, with archways and alcoves intricately carved into the walls. Columns stood as ancient sentinels, echoing a forgotten grandeur. A sense of awe overcame him, pondering the hands and tools that might have crafted such magnificence. The hallway was not just an architectural marvel, it was a gallery of the past. Displayed on raised platforms and within the alcoves were remnants of a bygone era, broken pottery, rusted weapons, and faded textiles. Each artifact told tales of daily life, of celebrations, wars, and perhaps ceremonies. The hallway's relics hinted at a once thriving place filled with discussions, laughter, and rituals, but now only silence remained. As John ventured deeper, his footsteps echoed, and the occasional drip of water emphasized the mountain's loneliness. Drawn by an unseen force, he ascended a worn stone staircase, feeling the air grow colder as he climbed. Suddenly, distinct footsteps different from his own sent a shiver down his spine, making him realize he might not be alone. His flashlight flickered, and without spare batteries, he was left relying on faint bioluminescent fungi. As he struggled through the dimness, he discovered intricate markings sprawled across the walls, seemingly messages from the mountain's past. Navigating the labyrinthine tunnels became increasingly difficult, and exhaustion set in. Taking a breath, he resolved to continue, determined not to let the mountain claim him. John soon stumbled upon ancient yet sophisticated machinery, leading him to a vast control room. As he pressed a button, dormant screens flickered to life, revealing a network of unexplored chambers. Among scattered documents, he found logs referencing expeditions and a mysterious mountain's core, though the final pages were missing. Before he could delve further, a distant rumble signaled potential danger. The machinery's activation might have alerted something or someone. John's heart raced. He had delved deep and perhaps lingered too long. With the echoing rumble growing nearer, he knew he had to retrace his steps and escape. Descending with urgency, John navigated through tight passages and slippery slopes, the towering walls pressing in on him. Every turn promised either an exit or a dead end. Relief washed over him as he found his drone, a reassuring link to the modern world amidst the ancient mysteries. As he neared the mountain's base, an eerie sensation of being watched gripped him. Rustling noises and hushed whispers suggested he was not alone. He narrowly avoided detection, shadowy figures on a ledge above and a searching group passing nearby. It became clear the mountain had guardians intent on protecting its secrets. Obstacles hindered his escape, a nest of snakes forced a detour, and a tense encounter with a mountain lion nearly cost him his life. Finally, under the moonlit sky, he emerged from the cavern, the mountain standing tall behind him, its mysteries still largely intact. Yet just as he thought he had seen it all, another discovery awaited. Hidden behind layers of rock and vines lay an immense chamber, its ceiling high and walls inscribed with strange patterns. At its center sat a jet, its design sleek, its markings unfamiliar, suggesting either advanced technology from the distant past or a future that had somehow slipped through time. Realizing the significance of his find, John quickly recorded footage with his drone before making his final escape. At his camp, he reviewed the images, understanding he had unearthed something extraordinary. The weight of responsibility pressed on him. This discovery could rewrite history, but it also posed dangers if it fell into the wrong hands. Choosing caution, he made copies of his footage and anonymously reached out to trusted experts. Despite being away from the mountain, the unease lingered. Every sound in the night felt like a warning, as if unseen eyes still watched him. Within days, the footage went viral. The world erupted with speculation, theories, and fascination over the enigmatic jet. What had John truly uncovered? The hidden mountain became the center of global curiosity, and John's life was no longer his own. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss another unbelievable tale like this one.